So we're talking about the urgency. If you can move features down, that we should do it as fast as possible. And the reason is if we move features down, for example, we open source them down in tiers and we open source something, we get more users. The users are going to get more value from GitLab. They're going to use more stages, and that increases the future potential for GitLab. So we have our buyer-based open core model, and it's sometimes hard to figure out who the buyer is. So we tend to put features in a bit of a too high tier and then move them down as we figure out that we're wrong. However, what happened in the last year or so is that we put them in high tiers, but then never reevaluated. And everyone was a bit hesitant to move the features down. And that's now really hurting the popularity of GitLab. But because we have features that we figured out, we should be open core. For example, a focus mode for issues. That's not a feature that managers care about. That's for ICs. We should have moved that down a long time ago. And because we don't do it, the feature doesn't have as many, it doesn't increase users. Like people don't tell their friends about GitLab because it doesn't have a focus mode. So we get fewer users. Also, users use less of the product. People maybe use our source control, but not our planning because they were missing the focus mode. And third, people aren't contributing. If the focus mode is broken on mobile, if it's only for our paid users, that's 10% of our users. It's much less likely that someone will contribute a fix. We have to optimize GitLab for like long-term revenue. That's our goal. We want to be at $1 billion of revenue in 2023. That's going to be how many users do we have? How much value do we create for users? And I think stages being used per user is a good proxy of that. Like the more stages you use in GitLab, like the better you benefit from having everything in a single application. And then our kind of take rate, like how much of that value that we created, which is users times stages, basically, how much can we capture? And if the feature is not a focus of any buyer, it doesn't matter for our take rate. You won't increase our take rate because the buyers don't care about the feature, but it does affect the number of users. It does affect the number of stages, and it does affect GitLab getting better as a product. And we need that sense of urgency, like, hey, we can be wrong, but then we quickly move it. But what I'm seeing now is, okay, we were wrong, but we're not in a rush. Maybe we'll introduce something in the future. Well, if you're going to introduce something in the future, great, you make that a paid feature. For example, service desk. Service desk will probably be in core, and then custom templates should be a paid feature. So we need a sense of urgency, and I hope this is a good rundown of the reasons why, if we're wrong about who the buyer is, we should move it down quickly.
It is, yes.